Arsenal Football Club almost died before its first birthday, starved out by the very workers who created it. The club that would become English football's most successful London side began in a munitions factory, funded by workers too poor to watch the matches they paid for. October 1886. Woolwich, southeast London. The Royal Arsenal employed 15,000 men building weapons for the British Empire. Two Scottish workers, David Danskin and Jack Humble, had grown up with football in the industrial towns of Kirkcaldy and Fife. At Royal Arsenal, they found nothing. No pitch, no team, just shifts turning iron into artillery shells. Danskin passed around a collection sheet. 15 workers pledged sixpence each. They bought a single football. The first match was played on a patch of marsh on the Isle of Dogs. Dial Square, named after one of the factory workshops, beat Eastern Wanderers 2-0. By Christmas, the team had a problem. They needed a ground, a treasurer, and a name that didn't sound like a plumbing supplier. On Christmas Day, 1886, they renamed themselves Royal Arsenal, borrowing legitimacy from the factory that employed them. They leased a pitch at Plumstead Common for nothing. The pitch was public land, which meant anyone could wander through mid-match. In 1888, they moved to a proper ground at Sportsman's Ground in Plumstead. The club charged threepence admission. The workers who funded the club couldn't afford to watch it. Crowds stayed small. Most weeks, fewer than 1,000 showed up. The club ran on gate receipts and nothing else. Then, in 1891, Royal Arsenal did something no London club had attempted. They turned professional. The backlash was immediate. The London Football Association refused to recognise them. Every other London club severed ties. Arsenal, they'd shortened the name by then, was frozen out of London football entirely. So they looked north. In 1893, Arsenal applied to join the Football League, the professional league dominated by clubs from the Midlands and the North. They became the first and only southern club in the league. Every away match was a 200-mile round trip by train. The travel costs nearly destroyed them. By spring 1894, Arsenal were broke. They sold their best players mid-season just to pay the rail fare to away games. At one point, the club was 48 hours from folding. The bailiffs were scheduled to arrive on a Friday. A local businessman named Henry Norris stepped in. Norris was a property developer with political ambitions and no interest in football beyond what it could do for his reputation. He cleared the debt, took over the club, and immediately decided Woolwich was the problem. Woolwich was poor, isolated, miles from central London. The crowds would never grow there. In 1913, Norris moved Arsenal north across the Thames to Highbury in North London. The Woolwich workers who founded the club never followed. Most couldn't afford the fare. Highbury was wealthier, central, near 3 underground stations. Norris built a new stadium. Crowds tripled within 2 seasons. In 1919, the Football League expanded from 20 clubs to 22. Arsenal, who had finished 5th in the 2nd Division before the war, were promoted to the 1st Division ahead of clubs with better records. Historians still argue whether Norris bribed his way into the top division. No smoking gun was ever found. Arsenal never left. By the 1930s, Arsenal had become the dominant force in English football, winning 5 league titles under Herbert Chapman. The munitions workers from Woolwich never saw it. Their club had been taken from them, moved across the city, and turned into something unrecognisable. David Danskin, the man who passed around the collection sheet for a single football, died in 1948. He never attended a match at Highbury. Arsenal became the first southern club to break the northern stranglehold on English football. But the club that did it wasn't the one the workers built. It was the one that replaced them. Next time, we head north to Manchester, where 2 clubs were born from the same church hall and spent the next century trying to destroy each other.